America, we got to get back to doing what's expected of us as free citizens in this democracy. That means being tolerant, being respectful, staying informed, and being engaged. I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Follow me here and join the millions of Americans who are renewing their social contract with each other. The social contract, it's on us. You know, I know the deal is this. I will take this to my grave. If America doesn't make it, if our democracy falls, if it ends, if this great 249-year-old experiment in freedom and democracy, we the people, if this experiment ends, it will be because of us. It will be. If this thing goes away, if we lose this great, noble, revolutionary thing our founders gave us, it will be because of us. I believe that. It won't be because of our politicians. It won't be because of Joe Biden or Donald Trump. It won't be because of social media. It won't be because of Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg. It won't be because of any of that. It won't be because of big money. It won't be because of lobbyists. It won't be because of misinformation and disinformation and big corporate America and unions, whatever. If our democracy ends, it will be because of us, the people who let it end. If our democracy ends, it's because we, the people, right, stop doing what we need to do to keep this thing going. I won't get into that right now. We've gotten into that plenty, but that forms just this morning 4 cups of coffee in. This is going to be like a 9 cup of coffee day. TikTok, this is going to be a 9 cup of coffee day. 4 coffees in, just again, broken record. The basis of everything I say is that it's on us. Whether this thing survives America or whether it doesn't, it's purely on us. That undergirds everything I say. So I begin like this. Listen to me. Donald Trump yesterday began his day taking his oath of office. He didn't put his hand on the Bible. A lot of people made a big deal about that. Whatever. But Donald Trump swore to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. That's how Trump began his day. Donald Trump then spent the rest of his day violating that oath, shredding that oath, giving his middle finger to that oath. Donald Trump on day one, here we go, back to us, did what he told us he would do. Said he was going to be a dictator beginning on day one. He was going to be a dictator. He was going to be a strong man. He was going to be an authoritarian. He was going to be a king on day one. Trump, during the campaign, told us he was going to do this. We voted for him, and he lived up to that promise. He lived up to that promise. He laid down some 200 executive orders just yesterday. I'll tell you, Jan, I'll give you a few examples of how he violated his oath, Jan. I'm glad you're listening and watching. I'll give them to you in a second. 200 some executive orders on day one. Do you remember when Obama was president? I do. I was in the United States Congress, and every now and then Barack Obama, remember how quaint this is? Every now and then Barack Obama would take his pen and his phone and he'd enact some executive order, and I would go crazy, and the whole Tea Party would go crazy, and every Republican would go crazy, and Sean Hannity would go crazy. Do you remember those days, right? Whenever Barack Obama would issue an executive order every now and then, we on the right would go crazy. Trump laid down 200 executive orders just yesterday. But we knowingly voted for him. He told us he'd do this. I'm going to point out 4 executive orders that Trump enacted yesterday that violate his oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. I'll just start with one, and I won't spend much time on it. Trump, all by himself, trying to save TikTok for the next 75 days. An utterly unconstitutional act. Congress passed a law, 101, banning TikTok. The Supreme Court upheld that law unanimously, banning TikTok. Donald Trump constitutionally cannot save TikTok all by himself. His executive order yesterday extending TikTok by 75 some days is an unconstitutional act. He violated his oath to protect, preserve, and defend the Constitution. A second executive order yesterday that most everybody didn't hear about, because everybody's talking about the pardons and the trying to end birthright citizenship, all the other immigration things Trump did. But here's an executive order Donald Trump laid down that is a direct violation of the Constitution, and that is all designed to make the president a king. Donald Trump yesterday created a whole new classification for federal civil servants. He calls it classification F, Schedule F. Donald Trump, vis-a-vis executive order yesterday, converted about 50,000 or so civil servants, federal employees, who are all protected from removal from office based on whatever political party these folks are. These are federal civil servants, public employees, who cannot be fired because they're a Republican or a Democrat. These are protected positions. Donald Trump yesterday, via executive order, changed that and converted these civil servants, converted them into political opponents to which they can be replaced or fired because they're a Republican or a Democrat. And right now, this executive order, Trump's Schedule F, would impact at least 50,000 civil servants. So Donald Trump, via his pen, converted 50,000 civil servants into political appointees. Why is this a big deal? Of course it's a big deal. These federal executive branch employees, Trump now wanting them all to be loyal to the president. The president now can basically fire 50,000 protected civil servants who he couldn't have fired earlier because they were protected. Doesn't matter who they are politically. They're civil servants. They're doing their job. Trump changes them to political appointments. He can now fire everyone who's a Democrat and hire people, up to 50,000 of them, who are solely loyal to him. Boy, that's scary, bad, unconstitutional power to give a president. And think about how it would disrupt government. So Trump does this, right? He changes 50,000 civil servants to political employees, fires all the ones who aren't loyal to him, who are Democrats. And then the next Democratic president comes along and fires all these 50,000 who are Republicans and tries to replace them all with Democrats. It would mess up government, but more importantly, this is all designed to make the executive branch utterly loyal to Trump and not loyal to the Constitution. This executive order will be challenged immediately in court because it is unconstitutional. And then we get to his, I think, the most unconstitutional executive order, Donald Trump, via his pen and his phone, trying to end birthright citizenship, trying to exclude babies who are born in this country from becoming United States citizens upon their birth. Trump vis-a-vis executive order trying to get rid of it. Here's the thing. It's unconstitutional. He can't. It's in the Constitution. The 14th Amendment, 1868, all persons born and naturalized in the United States are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. That's in the United States Constitution. That has been affirmed by the Supreme Court of the United States, birthright citizenship. And Trump, again, with just his pen, defying, violating, taking a torch to the Constitution. By the way, Trump lied when he said repeatedly during the campaign that the United States is the only country in the world that grants birthright citizenship. That's a lie. Well over 30 countries do as well. I want to point out one other thing. Trump's executive order is even more dangerous and ugly and cruel and unconstitutional than we know. Not only does the executive order that Trump signed yesterday exclude babies who are born to unlawful immigrants, not only does does Trump's executive order include them. So if you're a baby in this country and you are born in this country to an unlawful American, Donald Trump is trying to say you are not an American citizen, but Trump didn't stop there. Trump also, in his executive order, included babies who are born to people who are in this country legally on temporary visas. Trump's executive order says they are not American citizens. Babies born to people in this country legally on temporary visas. Again, utterly unconstitutional, against the United States Constitution, against the 14th Amendment. The Supreme Court has upheld it. They will uphold it again. This executive order will never see the light of day, but you asked me, everybody asked me. I can give you tons of examples of Donald Trump yesterday violating his oath. Here he is, in particular, specifically putting forth an executive order that violates the United States Constitution. But I just want to make really clear to everybody, per Trump's executive order, J.D. Vance's wife wouldn't be an American citizen. She was born to a mother in this country legally on a temporary visa. Per Trump's executive order, J.D. Vance's wife would not be an American citizen. Per Trump's executive order, Kamala Harris wouldn't be a United States citizen. Birthright citizenship has been affirmed by the United States Constitution, has been affirmed by the Supreme Court of the United States. And Trump yesterday, with his pen, tried to get rid of it. It's anybody, right? MAGA, all the Trump supporters who say they believe in the Constitution, you cannot believe in the United States Constitution and support what Trump did yesterday on birthright citizenship. It's utterly unconstitutional. As importantly, it's ugly, it's cruel, it's divisive, and it's fear-mongering. You penalize a baby who was born in this country, raised in this country, through no fault of her own, and you want to take away her citizenship? A mom comes into this country legally on a temporary visa. She has a baby in this country, raises that baby in this country while she's here on temporary visa, and you want to take away that baby's citizenship? Sick, cruel, yeah, un-American, utterly un-American. But this is how Trump won. Trump used fear to win. Trump used cruelty to win. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of the polling on Trump supporters, whether they support or don't support birthright citizenship. I know most of Trump supporters don't. So most of Trump supporters then do not support the United States Constitution. But again, that's not surprising to me because most Trump supporters, based on my experience with him, their only guiding light is support of Trump. There's an ugly example of Donald Trump yesterday violating his oath. And then we get to just one more example. Donald Trump last night pardoned every January 6th offender. He pardoned all of them, 1,600 some. Thanks, Keith. He pardoned everyone. He pardoned the head of the Proud Boys, who was serving a 22-year sentence for organizing January 6th, for conspiring to overthrow the election. Trump last night pardoned violent criminals who violently attacked police officers in this country. Donald Trump last night, he pardoned everyone. He pardoned people convicted by a jury of violent crimes, of serious felonies, of trying to officially stop an official government proceeding. Trump said he would do this. J.D. Vance was out there, just 4 or 5 days ago saying Trump wouldn't do this. Donald Trump would never pardon the violent criminals. He would never pardon the worst offenders on January 6th. That's what J.D. Vance said 4 days ago. J.D., you best get used to this. Trump doesn't give a damn about you. He'll throw you under the bus, man. You can't believe a word Donald Trump says. 4 years ago, I mean, think about this. 4 years ago, there was a violent attempt to overthrow an American election. 4 years later, the guy who incited that attempt, the guy who committed crimes trying to stay in power, because he was not held accountable for anything, is back in power. And last night, he pardoned everyone who helped him try to overthrow an American election. It's despicable. It's traitorous. It's Trump trying to erase January 6th. Yeah, outside of the fact that, again, to Trump's credit, he's succeeded in making January 6th not matter to the American people. I'll get into this later, not today, but Trump's greatest accomplishment is not getting reelected. Trump's greatest accomplishment is convincing Americans not to care about things they should care about. Like the American people should care about the truth. They don't. That's all because of Donald Trump. Americans should care about January 6th. They don't. Trump deserves all the credit for that. But by pardoning every offender, the worst offenders, the most violent offenders, the most conspiratorial offenders on January 6th, by pardoning everyone, Trump's incentivizing future political violence. These people committed political violence on January 6th. They now have been let off. They now can go free. So just as Trump incentivized people, candidates, not to accept the results of elections that they don't win, by pardoning everyone on January 6th, Trump's incentivized other people out there. If you don't get your way politically, if things don't go your way politically, it's okay to use political violence to get your way politically. And if you don't succeed, don't worry, you'll be pardoned. You'll be taken care of by your president. He'll pardon you. You can attack police officers. You can riot in the Capitol. You can try to hang Mike Pence. You can try to hang Nancy Pelosi. You can try to use violence to stop the peaceful transfer of power. It doesn't matter. You'll get pardoned. It's an utter abuse of the pardon power. An utter abuse of the pardon power. And every single Donald Trump supporter don't want to ever hear you complain about Joe Biden abusing the pardon power. Excuse me, forget about that. Joe Biden preemptively pardoned his family yesterday. Trump supporters can't complain about that. Their guy just pardoned last night. Trump last night just pardoned 1,600 violent felons. Finally, it just shreds. What Trump did last night shreds the independence of the Justice Department. Again, an act of a dictator, an act of an authoritarian, an act of a king, a president who wants to control the Justice Department. The Justice Department is supposed to be independent. Do you know that this January 6th investigation was the largest investigation the Department of Justice has ever undertaken? And with one swoop of his pen, Donald Trump got rid of the investigation, utterly shredding the independence of the Justice Department. He didn't accept his loss in 2020. Man, he's won. He didn't accept his loss in 2020. He didn't pay a price. He lied about the 2020 election. He didn't pay a price. He committed crimes trying to overthrow the 2020 election. He didn't pay a price. He incited the only attempt in American history to overthrow an election, and he didn't pay a price. And last night, he brought it full circle. He pardoned every single co-conspirator with him. And he will not pay a price. But no. TikTok not going to stop there. Not going to end on a bad note. Not going to end on a hopeless note. Trump took an oath yesterday to defend, right? Protect, preserve, and defend that thing, that Constitution. You cannot have a country, listen to me, America, we cannot have a country with a Constitution and a king. We have to choose. We are a country with a Constitution, or we are a country with a king. Choose, pick. You got to choose. And I choose to be a country with a constitution that limits the power of the presidency, that limits the power of government. I choose to live in a country without a king. Trump demonstrated, guys, on day one. This is, man, he told us he's going to be a dictator on day one. He lived up to that. I'm going to repeat what I brought up yesterday. No kings, no kings, no kings. If you look, again, complete honesty, yesterday sucked for me. And I respect all of you who support Trump. And yesterday was hallelujah, man. It was a great day. I get that. You want me to be honest? I'll be honest. Yesterday sucked. Yesterday was a deep, bad, dark day. We elected a guy who's going to be a king, who wants to be a king. Bad day. I did my best not to pay attention to as much of it as I didn't have to pay attention to. I was down all day yesterday, but I went to bed last night again, and I woke up this morning saying to myself, no kings. No kings. You heard me talk about this yesterday. We do not have kings in America. We just elected somebody who's going to try to be a king. For everybody out there who's feeling right now concerned, helpless, hopeless, despondent, what do I do? Let me just reiterate, start with that truth. Embrace that truth. Wrap your arms around that truth, and we'll see where it takes us. The truth being no kings. No kings. I changed my profile picture on every single social media platform, on YouTube, on my Substack, everywhere to no kings. No longer do you get to see this handsome mug. By the way, again, I get this all the time. You look like Jeffrey Epstein. Way better looking TikTok. But no longer do you see my mug. Now you see that hashtag, no kings, no kings, no kings. I find it helpful to identify with that, to embrace that, to make that my mantra right now for the next week, the next 4 months, the next 4 years. It's a basic truth. It's an American truth. I will not live in a country with a king. I think most Americans still believe that. So all I'm telling you right now is it's helpful to me. I think you'd find it helpful to you if you want to join me in just kind of growing this no kings meme, this no kings truth. Do it. Change your profile picture everywhere. Spread this thing. Go to this website, oneflaginitiative.org. It's all one word, spelled out. There it is. Thanks, Keith. Oneflaginitiative.org. Go there. And it'll give you instructions on how easy it is. You can put the No Kings meme right there on your profile pic, wherever you want. Spread that No Kings gospel. Go to oneflaginitiative.org. This is a scary time. It's a tenuous time. What we need to do as Americans is two things: recommit to our American ideals. We've lost touch with freedom, democracy, justice for all, equality, the rule of law. These uniquely American ideals, we need to recommit to those, and we need to resist everything that goes against those American ideals, like a king, like what Trump is beginning to do. I'll get more into this each and every single day, but join me. Change your profile pic, become part of this No Kings movement. Go to oneflaginitiative.org. Easy, really easy. We'll show you how you can embrace, adopt, and spread and share the No Kings meme. Change your profile pic and all the rest. And by the way, yesterday gave us, right? Yesterday, man, he showed us what he's going to do. He wants to be a king. We've got to resist that. No kings, no kings, no kings in America. Final, real quick issue I want to get into is this. Elon Musk yesterday. The salute heard around the world. Keith, you got that?
Thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
There's Elon Musk giving what appeared to be the Nazi salute yesterday. Boom! And people are saying Elon's just a weird, funny, awkward guy. He didn't really mean to give the Nazi salute. But when you look at it, Elon Musk speaking at Trump's rally yesterday sure looks like a Nazi salute. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I don't like Elon Musk. I think he's an utterly dishonest guy who purposely spreads disinformation. Cannot be trusted, should not be trusted. Elon Musk endorsing the anti-Semitic political party in Germany, very publicly endorsing the neo-Nazi party in Germany. I don't know whether Elon Musk is a Nazi fanboy. I don't. And I don't know what Elon Musk was doing yesterday when he did this. I'll make 3 points, TikTok. Anti-Semitism must be condemned no matter where it comes from, when it comes from the right and when it comes from the left, because anti-Semitism thrives on both the far right and the far left. It's what makes anti-Semitism so ugly and so dangerous. It can be found equally on the far right and the far left. So it must be condemned. And by the way, Elon, I'm willing to give Elon Musk some grace. That Elon did not mean or intend to give the Nazi salute yesterday. Fine, I'm willing to give Elon Musk that grace. It would have been helpful if Elon had come out and said, my God, no, I wasn't doing that. I was talking about how much I love all of you, everybody in the crowd. But Elon didn't do that. Elon laughed about it and went after people who attacked him. But even with all of that, Elon's a bad guy. I'll give Elon Musk some grace. I'm going to watch him like a hawk. It sure looked like a Nazi salute. But I'll give Elon the grace. And by the way, that's a good thing, America. People on the right and the left. There is a dearth of grace in America these days. We don't give each other enough grace on both sides. We all are just really willing to just pounce. Here's the point I want to make about this whole Elon Musk Nazi salute thing. That became, by the way, right, one of the biggest stories yesterday. Elon Musk gave a Nazi salute. And right away, everybody went to their sides, and the left was convinced it was a Nazi salute. And the right, well, I got to be careful. Most everybody on the right said, oh, no, it wasn't a Nazi salute, but there were a lot of people on the far right who proudly acknowledged it was the Nazi salute. That's a really important point, by the way. These anti-Semitic people on the right, Andrew Tate and a bunch of others, when they saw Elon Musk do this, they embraced it. He's one of us. There were people on the far right who thought as well that Elon was giving the Nazi salute yesterday, and they embraced it. But most people on the right and the right center tried to forgive Elon. He's just awkward. He's an awkward guy. Hyper-partisanship. So something like that happened yesterday. And I have no doubt that people on the left were outraged at what Elon Musk did because they genuinely believed it was a Nazi salute. Just like I have no doubt that crazy people on the far right believed it was the Nazi salute, and they got excited about it. But the left, Democrats and the left, saw it, and right away they believed it was the Nazi salute. They couldn't get out of that. They couldn't believe or think anything else because of hyper-partisanship. They saw it. It's got to be that. I'm a Democrat. I'm a progressive. I oppose Elon Musk. It had to have been a Nazi salute. Hyper-partisanship. But before we jump all over the left, remember, what I'm saying is people on the left and Democrats really believe it. They believe Elon was giving the Nazi salute. But before you jump on the people on the left for this, America, remember there are people on the right who really believe Donald Trump won in 2020. Hyper-partisanship. There are people on the right who firmly believe January 6th was not a big deal. Why? Hyper-partisanship. They can't get out of that bubble. They're in that bubble. They're in that club. They're in that cult. Man, they're on that side. So Trump won. Trump won. Trump won in 2020. This is the danger of hyper-partisanship. We are so partisan. We are so tribalized. We are so stuck in our political bubbles, on our political teams, that we naturally believe anything that will help our team, our side. It helps Democrats and the left big time politically. If Elon Musk, Donald Trump's biggest benefactor, gave the Nazi salute yesterday, if that's what he did, oh my God, that will help Democrats and help the left. So they believe it. Because more than anything, they've got to be partisan. And it helps Trump supporters. It helps Trump. It helps the right to believe that Trump really won in 2020. They can't get out of that. They have to believe that. Blame hyper-partisanship. Blame this thing where it's my party, my side, my team, no matter what. The truth doesn't matter. Did Elon give the Nazi salute yesterday? The truth doesn't matter. Truth doesn't matter. I'm on the left. I have to believe he did because I'm on the left. The truth is Trump lost in 2020. But that's the truth. But I can't accept that truth because I'm on the right. I'm a Trump supporter. I have to believe the election was stolen. It's a scary, bad, dangerous thing. This hyper-partisanship. It again, it eviscerates the truth, but it tears us apart. And yes, it would be really helpful if Elon Musk had come out and said, no, I wasn't doing the Nazi salute. And yes, it would have been really helpful if Donald Trump had said the truth 4 years ago and said, I did lose the 2020 election, sure. But again, I'll close with this. This is on us. This is on us. We don't need Trump or Elon to tell us the truth. We can decide. We know the truth. And the truth is, we don't know what Elon Musk meant to do. Elon Musk needs to tell us. You can choose to give him some grace or not. But we do know Donald Trump lost in 2020. Joe Biden won that election. And it's up to you, Trump supporters. It's only up to you to accept that truth and to not be hyper-partisan. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. Again, go to oneflaginitiative.org. Join the No Kings movement. Send me an email whenever you want. joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. One word, joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow The Social Contract with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been The Social Contract.